Win as one. EA Sports FIFA 21 sponsors Saturday Social.
Only one place to start, guys. Leicester play Liverpool at Anfield. It's part of a triple header of Super Sunday action. Can't wait for that game. So let's start by looking at this fixture. We know that Liverpool have a host of injury worries, as Chris pointed out on social media, saying Leicester aren't ready for this smoke. And it's just Alisson, Wijnaldum and Mane, implying they're the only three fit players. So let's break it down. It has been a dreadful run of luck on the injury front for Liverpool. We know that Van Dijk, Joe Gomez, Trent Alexander-Arnold and the Ox are all definitely out this weekend. And there's also question marks over Henderson, Thiago and Fabinho. Anfield Watch tweeted this following the injury news, saying John Matip in training this week, wrapped in bubble wrap. Chunkz, what is going on at Liverpool, mate? I mean, just as you think it can't get much worse, they lose Joe Gomez for a long period of time. It's just been a dreadful run of luck for them, isn't it?
Yeah, someone's put evil eye on Liverpool. Someone did not want them to even come anywhere near close as they did last year. Like, someone's done magic, bro. Something's happened because I don't understand why all the players are getting injured around the same time. Like, what are they going to do now?
Yeah, it's been a dreadful run of luck. Carl, as a City fan, how do you think this affects the title race? We know that Man City have had injury worries themselves. Obviously, their form has been a bit hot and cold as well. But given the magnitude of injuries, do you think this puts Man City as title favourites, or do you think Liverpool's strength and depth will still be there to see them challenge? How do you see it unfolding?
People will still be looking at these two, and they'll still be looking at Liverpool and Man City to be there at the end of the season. The worrying thing as a City fan is that if Liverpool can actually come out of this and unscathed in a way, and they still manage to get 3 points every single game, and they still manage to get continue the winning form, that is worrying because, well, if they can do that with all the injuries they've had, what else can they do? We saw what they did last year. They raised their level after Man City beat them. We've seen that City have been able to get 100 points, 98 points, but what we've forgot within that is what Liverpool have managed to do as well last season and the season before. So I think when it comes to the end of this season, it's going to be those two up there at the top. Who it's going to be, I'm not sure. City just have to capitalise on Liverpool's injuries in a way and make sure that we continue winning week in, week out.
Was it you pre-season? Carl, was it you pre-season?
Yeah.
Put the curse on him.
I'm not going to confirm or deny any of that. I don't want to see any injuries to any players, but I might have been looking into my crystal ball and saying a few magic words.
Yeah, because it's not just injuries that have hit him over the international break. Even Mohamed Salah came back with 2 positive COVID-19 tests after being pictured at his brother's wedding in Egypt. He then took to social media to kind of explain that he'll be back soon. He said, "I'd like to thank everyone for the supportive messages and well wishes. I'm confident I'll be back on the field soon." 106,000 likes. Chunkz, how big of a blow is no Mo Salah this weekend against Tabletop in Leicester?
Oh, horrible, bro. You're never going to want to lose your big players, and someone as important as Mo Salah that could potentially change the game for him to now not be playing. It's you know what I mean? Leicester's a great team as well, so you're going to need all your best players. So I'd like to see what they can be able to achieve with the team they have. But it's the squad's going to be so thin. I just don't know what team they're going to play out for. It's going to be exciting to see. I reckon we're going to see a lot of kids in the starting lineup. Let's see if they can do the big job.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Jota probably comes into the starting lineup now, I would say. Do you think that's just going to be a direct swap, Salah out and Jota in, Carl, or is it not as complicated? Is it not as simple as that? Lose a bit of balance maybe?
Yeah, I think it's not just as easy as a straight swap. Salah brings so much to that squad. We've seen what he's done over the past few years. And Jota, this will be an incredible opportunity for him to come in and to maybe start to cement his position in there. There's been so much talk about Jota and Firmino recently, but with no Salah, they're going to have to adapt. And don't get me wrong, I mean, whoever they put up top, they're going to still have the firing power. You've got the wing-backs and the full-backs in Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold to provide them with so many different options. Obviously, Trent's had that injury. Robertson's coming off the back of an international break where his confidence is going to be sky high. So I think that team, they're still going to be getting goals left, right and centre no matter what.
And Carl, you mentioned one of the players there, Roberto Firmino. Got to talk about him because he's been taking a bit of criticism on social media. This was just one of a few tweets that we had a look at. From a United fan, Roberto Firmino really went from no-look goals to look no goals. Chunkz is enjoying 46,000 likes. Very, very creative from a United fan. Now, Bobby Firmino, I don't know if you know this, guys, is the most capped player under Jurgen Klopp since he arrived at the club. 249 appearances since Klopp arrived at the club, that is. But no Liverpool player has got more than that. But he's only got 2 goals in his last 23 Premier League appearances. Chunkz, what have you made of Firmino? We know that he's not a 30-goal striker. He's got other skills, but you're hiding from the camera. What have you made of Firmino, mate, this season?
He's a system player, bro. He works in the system. I see him helping the team out in terms of assists, etc. But I don't know. His goals, the goals are just out of his game now. I don't know what's happening. He's probably telling them in training not to score anymore. But what's happening to Roberto Firmino? I have no clue, bro. Like I remember a game where I think I was watching and he scored and there was something like first goal at Anfield and blah blah blah. I was like, where's he been?
Last game of the season,
every game.
Yeah,
like he plays all the games. How is he not getting up on the score sheet as a centre forward? Like, I don't get it, bro.
It's an interesting one, Carl, isn't it? Because we know that he's not, as we say, he's not expected to score 30 goals a season. He's not that kind of player. His strengths are his hold-up play and bringing others into play, and he does suit that system well. But given his form and given the form of Jota, if everyone is fit for Liverpool, who do you play in that front three, Carl?
I think Jota's got to get in there because Jota's form, he kind of does not everything that Firmino does, but he does a lot of it to a high standard. Plus, he's been getting the goals as well. So I think he's got to come into it. I think that Mane is one of, if not the best player currently in the Premier League. So he definitely goes in there. I'd like to see if Firmino and Jota can play together. That'd be nice to see if those two can actually come in together instead of people saying that they're going head to head for one spot. Let's see what they can do together, and now we'll really see how this Liverpool team can adapt, how they can work well together, and also what Klopp can do, because last year he was very fortunate with, I'd say, not having as many injuries, long-term injuries anyway. So this time he's faced with a lot of challenges. Let's see what he can do, if he can come out on top or not.
So just to jump in there, Salah's the one that you don't play in the starting three, is that right? You want to see Jota, Firmino and Mane, is that right?
Salah's got to get in there, hasn't he? Salah's got to get in.
What did you leave out? You've got to leave one out.
I'm going to leave Salah out. Yeah, I said it. Sorry, Liverpool fans.
That is one of the worst footballing opinions I've ever heard right there, Kyle. Honestly, that is disgraceful. They've been playing a front four recently as well. So I think they can all play together on the pitch because Klopp knows what he's doing, first and foremost.
Why are you asking me to leave one out then?
I don't know. I asked Smithy. He's lost his head. Everybody's losing the red right now.
They play a front three, and I'm putting you on the spot. I'm glad I asked it as well, because it was a great answer. I didn't expect it.
Salah dropped from the team. I cannot believe what I'm hearing. Right, let's move it on a little bit to Leicester. Let's put some respect on their name as well, because they are currently the form team in the Premier League, of course, and they've had their own injury problems. Loads has been made of Liverpool's current injury situation. But look at this. For the sake of balance ahead of Sunday, Leicester City, Ricardo, Soyuncu, Castagna, Ndidi, Amate, Schmeichel, Fofana. They've already had Vardy, Evans and Maddison on the sidelines. So they've had massive injury problems too. How good has this side been to cope with that many problems, Chunkz? Because it's gone under the radar, hasn't it, how bad their injury problems have been?
People need to put more respect on Brendan Rodgers' name, bro. Like, honestly, what he's achieved he didn't achieve much at Liverpool, but he came very close to winning the league. Obviously, Celtic as well, and now coming to Leicester and doing the job. I genuinely reckon, like, he's a great manager. And what he's doing with Leicester right now, it's just incredible to see. Because, to be fair, they have a good team, but with the team they have, they shouldn't be like I don't think they should be within that top 5. Like, but they're still managing to do that. So, yeah, it's nice to see, man. Brendan Rodgers, round of applause. Very, very good manager.
Yeah, and their recruitment has been so impressive as well, I think. Even this summer, you look at the likes of Fofana being picked up, Castagna was picked up for next to nothing, Cengiz Under comes in and he looks pretty good when he's had an opportunity. How impressed have you been with the recruitment too, Carl, along with Brendan Rodgers' superb form?
I think when you marry the two up, when you put those two together, you look at an absolute world-class manager who can bring in players who are not just good players, but also players that he knows can do the job that he wants them to do. Now, what we'll have to see is if they can do that on a consistent basis throughout the entire season. But why not? Why can't they? I think when you've got a manager like Brendan Rodgers, who I just think he's brilliant. I think he brings in so much into man management. He obviously has got the tactics and the skills to play it out on the pitch as well. But it seems like when this Leicester team are playing under him, they're full of confidence. What have they got to lose? They're sitting there at the top of that Premier League because they're full of that confidence, and they go into every single game, not underdogs, but they think, well, we're not expected to win here. Let's go and play the football we do. And look what they did against Manchester City. They did that. They countered City so well. And that's why it ended up being 5-2. And they absolutely humiliated City on the day.